It's time for spelling analysis. Let's apply the phonograms and rules that you've been learning to some new words. The first word is make. Did you make your bed today? Make. Go ahead and say make. Now let's sound it out. A, k. Use a tall k. Silent final E. Go ahead and write make. Sound it out as you write it. Good, and now help me to write it. A, k. Silent final E. All right, why do we have a silent final E in make? The vowel says it's long sound because of the E. We will underline the E twice to signal that it's silent. However, it has a purpose to make the vowel say its long sound. Let's read it. A, k, make. The next word is line. Draw a line over the long vowels. Line. Go ahead and say line. Let's sound it out. L-I-N. Silent final E. Go ahead and write line, sounding it out as you write it. Good, and now help me to write it. L-I-N, silent final E. Why do we have a silent final E in line? That's right, the vowel says its long sound because of the E. Let's read it. L-I-N, line. The next word is pay. Did you pay the bill? Pay. Go ahead and say pay. Let's sound it out. P-A, two-letter A that you may use at the end of English words. Go ahead and write it. And help me to write it. P-A. And how will we mark it? We'll underline the A. Let's read it. P-A, pay. The next word is shirt. He is wearing a red shirt. Go ahead and say shirt. Let's sound it out. Sh-er. This is the of bird. T. Go ahead and write shirt, sounding it out as you write it. And help me to write it. Sh-er. T. And how will we mark it? We'll underline the sh and the Let's read it. Shirt, shirt. The next word is celebrate. We will celebrate his birthday. Celebrate. Go ahead and say celebrate. How many syllables in celebrate? 3. We will say to spell cel-e-brate. What will we say to spell? Cel-e-brate. Let's sound it out. The first syllable is cel. S. Use a k, s. E-ul. And then e, brate. B-er-a-te. Silent final E. Go ahead and write cel-e-brate. Sound it out as you write it. That's the key to spelling multi-syllable words. Cel-e-brate. And now help me to write it. The first syllable is cel. S-e-ul. The second syllable is e. The third syllable is brate. B-er-a-te. Silent final E. How will we mark it? What sound of k, s do you hear in celebrate? The second. And why is it saying it's soft sound? C always softens to s before an E, I, or Y. By the way, that rule actually explains something about this word, doesn't it? Why did we use a tall k here? If we had put a C here, it would have softened to s and said mace. So C always softens to s before an E, I, or Y. We'll also put a line over the E. Why did it say it's long sound? A, E, O, U usually say their long sounds at the end of the syllable. And why do we have a silent final E in celebrate? You can hear it. The vowel is saying its long sound. The vowel said its long sound because of the E. Let's read it. S-e-l-e-b-er-ate. Celebrate. Now you'll notice that this was saying its schwa sound, And remember, any vowel may say or I in an unstressed syllable. It's just being lazy. We're not saying it as clearly in everyday speech. The next word is hide. Where did you hide the candy? Hide. Go ahead and say hide. And let's sound it out. I-d. Silent final E. Go ahead and write hide, sounding it out as you write it. Excellent. And now help me to write it. I-d. Silent final E. Now, what would it say without the E? It would say hid. With it, it says hide. The vowel says its long sound because of the E. Let's read it. I-d. Hide. The next word is birthday. When is your birthday? Birthday. Go ahead and say birthday. How many syllables in birthday? 2. We will say to spell birth, day. What will we say to spell? Birth, day. Let's sound it out. The first syllable is birth. B-er, use the of bird. The second syllable is day, d-a. Use two-letter A that you may use at the end of English words. Go ahead and write birth, day, sounding it out as you write it. Birthday. Now help me to write it. Birth, b-er. Second syllable is day, d-a. How will we mark it? We'll underline the and the and the a. Let's read it. B-er-d-a. Birthday. What 2 words is birthday made out of? Birth, which means when someone was born, and day. So a birthday celebrates the day they were born or birthed. The next word is present. Did you buy a present for her birthday? Present. Go ahead and say present. How many syllables? 2. We will say to spell pres-ent. What will we say to spell? Pres-ent. Let's sound it out. The first syllable is pres. P-er-e-z. This is a s-z. The second syllable is ent. E-n-t. Go ahead and write pres-ent, sounding it out as you write it. Pres-ent. And help me to write it. The first syllable is pres. P-er-e-z. The second syllable is ent. E-n-t. And what sound does z do you hear in present? The second. Let's read it. P-er-e-z-e-n-t. Present. The next word is cake. Let's bake a cake for his birthday. Cake. Let's say cake. And let's sound it out. K. Use a k. S. A. K. Use a tall k. Silent final E. Go ahead and write cake, sounding it out as you write it. And now help me to write it. K, silent final E. Why do we have a silent final E in cake? The vowel says its long sound because of the E. Let's read it. Cake. The next word is write. Please write your name on the form. Write. Go ahead and say write. And let's sound it out. That's right. It's our new phonogram, I, t. Silent final E. Go ahead and write. And help me to write it. I, t. Silent final E. How do we mark it? We'll underline the and why do we have a silent final E in write? The vowel says its long sound because of the E. Let's read it. Write. The next word is tape. Can you get some tape so that we can wrap the present? Tape. Go ahead and say tape. And let's sound it out. Tape. Silent final E. Go ahead and write tape, sounding it out as you write it. And help me to write it. Tape. Silent final E. How do we mark it? we'll put a line over the A and double underline the E. Why did we have a silent E? The vowel says it's long sound because of the E. Let's read it. Ape, tape. What does it say without the E? Tap. With it, tape. The next word is both. We are both going to the party. Both. Go ahead and say both. Let's sound it out. B-O-Th. Go ahead and write both. And help me to write it. B-O-Th. Why did the vowel say its long sound here? I and O may say I and O before two consonants. And though these two consonants are working together to say th, they still count as two consonants. Let's read it. B-O-th, both. The next word is window. Look out the window. It is raining. Go ahead and say window. How many syllables? Two. We will say to spell win-dow. What will we say to spell? Win-dow. Let's sound it out. The first syllable is win. Wa-i-n. The second syllable is do. D-o. Use an ow-o. Go ahead and write win-dow. Win-dow. Good. Help me to write it. Win. Wa-i-n. Second syllable is do. D-o. And how do we mark it? We'll underline the O. And what sound of ow-o do we hear in window? The second, so we'll put a 2 over it. Let's read it. W-I-N-D-O, window. The next word is share. Will you share that with me? Share. Go ahead and say share. Let's sound it out. Sh-a-er, silent finally. Go ahead and write share, sounding it out as you write it. And help me to write it. Sh-a-er, silent finally. How do we mark it? We'll underline the sh, and the vowel said the long sound because of it, the E. So we'll put a line over it and double underline the E to show that it's silent. Let's read it. Sh-a-er, share. The last word is key. Do you have a key for the car? Key. Go ahead and say key. Let's sound it out. K. That's a tall K. E. Use an A-E. Go ahead and write key. And help me to write it. K-E. And how do we mark it? We'll underline the E. What sound of A-E do we hear? The second. Let's read it. K-E. Key. Now question, why could I not spell it like this? You're right, this would say see or say, depending on if the A or the E was saying which sound. But if it was saying its second sound, it'd say C. Because C always softens to before an E, I, or Y. That's why we had to use a tall K to make it key. Great work today!
Combining the science of reading with the joy of learning. Learn more at essentials.logicoфenglish.com.